You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Raiders. More specifically, we're going to talk about Davante Adams again. We got a couple of things here. Number one, we've got one of my favorite players of all time, a Raiders alum. And of course, he came out of the University of Michigan. You guys know I'm a big Wolverines guy. Well, Charles Woodson is not so happy with his club. Why is he not so happy? Well, you got a number one wideout that they can't seem to make happy, and he wants out of town. Now, that may be part of his issues, right? That may be his personal preference. He wants out of town. It's a little scary if you're a Raiders fan because it makes you feel like, well, is this an indictment of Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew? He doesn't want to play with either one of these quarterbacks. Even though I still believe O'Connell's got some potential. I don't know. Right? A lot of people believe he wants to play either with Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. But there is another team out there, and I think it's a very interesting team that is, quote unquote, monitoring the situation, and that's the Buffalo Bills. Now, in case you don't remember, the Bills traded Stefon Diggs in the offseason. And so here we are. Stefon Diggs has got 315 yards and 31 receptions, 2 touchdowns this season. His yards per game per catch average is down. All right, even versus last year. However, he still has a game where he was 6 for 82, 10 for 94 in there, and started out the season with 2 touchdowns right out of the gate. So whether you believe Stefon Diggs is still a number one or not, the fact is the Bills don't have a clear-cut number one, and Davante Adams, at least through this year and then next year, you feel like has the potential to at least remain a number one kind of wide receiver. Now, Charles Woodson is not happy about any of this, okay? He's not happy that the Raiders are just going to let Davante Adams walk out the door. Now, I would caution the Raiders with this, all right? This weekend, the New England Patriots are going to start Drake May for the first time, right? Now, either the Raiders want to see Aiden O'Connell succeed. Well, I believe if you want a quarterback in this day and age to do well, you need to have some weapons around him. Well, Davante Adams is a weapon. Or let's say Aiden O'Connell isn't the guy. You draft a guy. Well, where's your number one receiver then? Davante Adams is gone. The Patriots about to start Drake May. They don't have anything resembling a Davante Adams. And it's part of the problem, all right? It was part of the problem with Mac Jones. It's going to be part of the problem with Drake May. All right? It's just all there is to it. C.J. Stroud, and I think he's the best young quarterback that's come out in a long time. Although Jaden Daniels, and I called it, by the way, on this channel, I said Jaden Daniels was the best quarterback coming out of the draft, and I wasn't sure it was close. But we're seeing him succeed. He's got Terry McLaurin, who I think is a damn good wide receiver. He's got weapons around him for the Redskins. So let's get to this because Charles Woodson not happy. Let's listen.
What's going on?
Just trying to figure out why we can't have nice things with the Raiders. It's always something. I just think about over the years. Think about a guy like Khalil Mack. One of the premier pass rushers in the league, 4th overall pick. All of a sudden, we ship him out of the door. Last year, there's an opportunity. I don't know how real it was, but C.J. Stroud's the quarterback. He's sitting there at 2. Maybe we'd be aggressive and move up. We don't do it. And now what we have is a premier receiver in the NFL in Davante Adams. We just come off a win where Max Crosby's not in, Davante's not in, and guess what we're talking about? One of our guys wants to leave the team. So, it just seems like we're always in the sports news and media for all the wrong reasons all the time, man.
I can't say he's wrong. I can't say he's wrong. It does seem like that sometimes when the Raiders get the big time talents, they want to ship them out of town or they can't figure out a way to make them happy. A lot of that, all right, has got to do with Mark Davis, your front office, ownership, all of this kind of thing. They've got a great facility. I mean, the Death Star out there is one of, I think it's my favorite new stadium in the league, frankly. I think that is a great looking stadium. And then, hey, right here, this fan says it: bad ownership, horrid front office. Don't spend a dime or my time on this team. It's crazy. We don't have a good quarterback, OC, or owner, Charles. Yeah, the Raiders are poverty, bad ownership, and front office. It's over and over and over. We are all sick of it, Charles. Yeah, so Raiders fans are upset about this, and I can't say I blame them. Seriously, when I saw this that he wanted out of town, I was like, so you know, you don't for sure want to find out what Aiden O'Connell is with this guy with another year under his belt, and I'm talking about O'Connell. But it may not be up to the Raiders if Davante Adams wants the hell out of Dodge. Question is, would he go to the Bills? Obviously, Josh Allen, big deal, right? It's certainly a stud quarterback to be playing with, and I think that's something that Davante Adams covets at this point. The clock keeps ticking on a potential Davante Adams trade, and the Raiders continue to owe the receiver more than $983,000 per week. And that's part of the problem, too. One could say the Raiders don't necessarily want to spend. Everybody knows Mark Davis is not the richest owner in the league, and he's really not. He's among the least wealthy of the bunch, and the NFL has not exactly, and we've talked about this before, not exactly made it a secret that they would like Mark Davis out of the league. They want a Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, Stan Kroenke kind of owner. And we know Mark Davis is not that kind of owner, right? So theathletic.com is reported that the Jets, Saints, and Steelers, interesting, remain interested. Per the report, the Bills are, quote, monitoring the situation. Other teams are out or never interested, like the Cowboys, Ravens, and Chiefs. The Bills continue to make the most sense. They don't have a clear number one receiver. Adams would instantly fill that void. The Raiders continue to want a second-round draft pick. Others have reported they want more. We've heard a 2 gets it done. To get there, the Raiders might have to pay a large chunk of the remaining salary, which is $12.198 million entering Week 6. If they pay part of the salary, the Raiders could convert the bulk of it into a signing bonus. And yeah, I mean, the contract's going to play a factor here. I still believe in this, that ultimately he's going to get traded. I said it yesterday in the video. The Bills are very interesting, though. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for the Bills to be in on this. Question is, and this is what all teams that want Davante Adams, what they're going to have to deal with. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets still makes the most sense. And the Jets are desperate. Look, Robert Saleh's already got canned. Well, do you think Joe Douglas, the general manager, doesn't know that his head's on is literally being loaded into the guillotine as we speak by Woody Johnson? Yeah, Joe Douglas knows he got to win some games. He's got to win some games. They got to make the playoffs and win a game in New York, I believe. Or this Aaron Rodgers thing was a total disaster. And it may end up being a disaster anyway, but everybody knows Rodgers wants his guys around, and Davante is his biggest guy out there. All right, this is his guy. Aaron's talked about it in the past. Far and away, he said his favorite receiver and player that he ever played with was Davante Adams. And again, Derek Carr is hurt with the Saints, oblique tear. We don't know when he's coming back. So Adams may back off the Saints now. But the Bills, from a standpoint of personnel, they make a lot of sense. And if you're a Raiders fan, I don't know how you feel about this. I did not want to trade Brandon Ayuk as a Niners fan. I don't think I'd necessarily want to get rid of Davante Adams either. I thought this Raiders team could compete for at least a final wild card spot. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But some of this may have to do with where are the Raiders in 2 weeks? Honestly. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.